AI voice will dramatically change the way you work. A couple of years ago, I remember seeing the voice command button in my remote control, and back then it was a novelty. I mean, it was fun, but it never really worked. So fast forward a couple of years, and now my father-in-law no longer uses his Xfinity cable provided remote control to change channels the way he's been doing it for decades. He only uses the voice command button on his remote to locate his TV shows, usually baseball games. And he talks to the speakers to get the music that he wants. He talks to Google Assistant to turn the lights on. You might not know it, but you are very likely to be one of a billion people already that interact with AI voice. So in the morning, you might be asking Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant for the weather, to set it up as a timer when you cook, for driving directions, etc. AI voice had made it very deep into our home as consumers. And the coolest part is that it's just making its way into work. My name is Ricardo Garcia Maya, and I am the founder of VOIQ. We help businesses leverage voice bots to enrich the way they communicate with their customers and prospects over the phone. Right now, I'm going to share with you my top 5 innovations when it comes to AI voice. The first one, voice dashboard. So I'm a CEO, so I love this feature. Normally, leaders in business, the way that we get our KPIs and our information about teams, we leverage visual dashboards. And visual dashboards are awesome. They bring the information to our fingertips. However, we need to go through a specific software and extract that information. So there's still some friction. What's better is a voice dashboard. So let me give you a cool example. If you're a sales leader and you're driving to work and you want to know Diane's sales numbers for yesterday, you normally would have to pull up your laptop, pull up your phone, enter your credentials to a specific website, go into a dashboard, pull up the query to get that information. Now you just need to talk to the voice interface in your car, and that information will be provided to you. That level of productivity, if you multiply that by billion requests, by thousands of businesses, hundreds of millions of businesses are doing this, the level of productivity in business is going to change dramatically. So that's one of my favorite ones. The second one, it's AI voice for meeting assistant. So let me give you an example. Right now there are 50 million meetings happening every day just in the United States. And if you ever run a meeting, you know how hard it is to be present in the moment in that meeting, but at the same time collect the information of the meeting, right? The task, the stakeholders, who's going to do what. There are currently already technologies like an AI voice like Gong and Chorus that listens to your meetings and transcribes, analyzes, and tags all this information. And at the end of the meeting, it provides you the equivalent of the minutes of the meeting, right? This is amazing. The next level in AI voice will be when it will be telling you, be coaching you on how to have even better meetings with your team. So that's part of the second voice innovation I want to share with you. The third one has to do with AI voice for search and navigation. So currently, let me give you this example. If you're a designer and you are brainstorming for ideas and you're with your colleagues and you're getting creative ideas from a stock photography site, normally the process involves several of your colleagues yelling across the table ideas, and you are typing and you're using your mouse to enter stuff into this stock photography site. With voice navigation and search, your team members, it increases collaboration dramatically. Your team will be able to all be looking at the screen, and they'll all be able to contribute and saying, show me a horse pulling a carriage. Now make it 7 horses and make it in the winter. So this is the type of level of collaboration that we'll be seeing at work. I mean, what I'm describing is actually already happening. It's part of the Adobe stock photography package that allows voice navigation. So this is one of the many ways that collaboration will dramatically improve in the workplace. My fourth favorite innovation when it comes to AI voice, it's very dear to me because I am very passionate about this, and this is what we do at my company. It involves voice bots for making business calls. So over the past several years, decades, it's been extremely difficult for business to find an effective way to communicate or automate call processes to communicate with their customers or prospects. We all have experienced dealing with horrible IVR situations or phone menus where they don't understand what we're saying, they throw you in different endless loops, they hang up on you. In the near future, you'll be able to call any business, and on the first ring, someone will be able to answer and say, "Hi, Ricardo, how can I help you?" And that voice will be able to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. Now, that experience is around the corner. And by the way, that voice, you will not know whether it's a human or a voice bot, which is really cool. 99% chances is going to be a voice bot. So that technology is around the corner. Now, though, it's already being used, and that's what we do for sales and marketing teams. There are many type of calls that are very tedious, and professionals is not their favorite type of tedious calls to make, which are the type of calls that you have to call people to remind them to show up to a meeting, call people to have a conversation, to reschedule a meeting. So they're leveraging voice bots to do this for them, right? Collect payments, etc. So this is already in place, this technology, and businesses have been waiting decades for this technology to be available in order to enrich the way they communicate with customers and prospects over the phone. Lastly, the fifth AI voice innovation is voice as authentication. What that means is voice as a password. So right now, the average professional needs about 200 passwords to operate on a day-to-day basis, logging in and logging out of multiple software. Now, and of course, password managers are awesome, are great, but still a lot of friction. So now imagine the world where your voice is the only password you'll ever need to remember. So let me give you an example of a more applicable example of what this means. Let's say that right now, if you ever participated in a meeting with remote participants in a call, there's always one or two people that are always late because they need to log in into Google, they need to log in into the video conferencing software, they need to remember the conference ID. With voice authentication, all you need to do is walk into a conference room and say, "Log me in my 10 a.m. conference." And suddenly, boom, 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 it authenticates you since it knows it's your voice. It authenticates you in all these platforms, and immediately, boom, you're in that meeting, right? Voice authentication is going to save a ton of time. It's going to increase productivity in the workplace. It's going to completely revolutionize the way we do business. So these are the top 5 innovations. We're just scratching the surface. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of use cases that we don't even know yet. So it's extremely exciting. Thank you very much.